Welcome. This is Gentle Yoga for Back Care here, sponsored on Veterans Yoga Project. It's about a 60-minute class. We keep everything between the easy and ouch. Yes, we do use gear. We use a yoga strap or a block and a block. You don't have that stuff around the house. You know what? Do the class and then I'll send you the recording and you can figure out what you have at the house that you can use. Or go run and get that dog leash or that tie or that long towel, maybe a couch pillow. But two of our postures, a block bridge, woo, man, that's the number one reason for having a block. It really, really lessens that tension in the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up, move this chair out of the way. Near the end of the class, I'm going to come back up to the front of the room. We're going to do our guided rest and relaxation and our gratitude practice. And if we have time, we're going to do that hand tapping sequence for lessening aches and pains in the hands. It's part of our Tai Chi. But, y'all like that too. So again, I'm going to stand up. Because I have spicy back pain, I use the chair to come down to the floor. Just know that you can do this class entirely seated or standing behind the chair if you have some of those challenges. You don't want to get down to the floor because maybe you don't know if you can get back up, right? But for me, because of that scoliosis, disc degeneration, all this other kind of stuff. Hey, Natalie, welcome. I got to use the chair. So I'm going to come over the chair, squeeze my belly button towards my spine, stick one foot way back, then the other, and I'm checking, do I have my block and my strap? Yeah, they're over there. So I'm making sure my gear is close to me. Now, I like to use the blanket for cushioning my knees or for sitting on the floor. So I'm going to keep that close by also. I didn't mention that in the video, but it was mentioned in the text about this class. We're going to start in our number one pose for easing back tension. It's called constructive rest posture. You can do this on the bed. You can do this on the couch. It's not quite effective on the chair, but you do what you can with what you got. So let's proceed on to our back, shall we? We shall. Woo! All right. I'm going to move my block out of the way, but make sure it's really close by. So because I got that weird thing in my spine, this does not feel comfortable for me. I have to do a few little modifications. So I'm going to grab my wrist and then pull my shoulder up and away, move that back muscle away from my bony spine. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. So I'm going to roll it up. And so that already feels about 50% better. Sometimes does not feel well in the behind. So I'm going to walk my feet towards my behind. I'm going to lift my behind up and then just kind of gently roll my spine, kind of elongate it onto the yoga mat. I'm going to wiggle those shoulders a little bit, and that feels pretty good today. We're going to start with the breath. So as we are in constructive rest posture, which again releases stuff in the back, it just does it. It's magic, seems like. You can have the hands out to the side or place the hands here low below the belly button and one hand above that. Whatever's comfortable, okay? And what we'll be doing is called the Dantian breathing. It's what we do in Tai Chi, low belly breathing. Now, that's going to be tough for a lot of folks because when we were babies, we naturally extended the belly out as we breathed in, and then our belly just kind of fell towards the back of the spine as we exhaled. A lot of us do chest and upper abdominals as opposed to low belly. But we're going to try it. Do what you can, okay? So I have that hand low on my belly, the other one on top. And as we breathe in, let's extend the belly towards the ceiling as if we were filling up a balloon. So here we go. Breathe in, belly out. And as we exhale, contract that belly button towards your spine. Let everything just kind of sink towards the floor, the back of the chair. And again, breathe in, belly out, and exhale. Now, some of your mid-belly, some of your chest is going to expand. Just know that, okay? But again, think about the low belly. Breathing in, belly out. And try to extend that breath as you exhale a little bit longer. We're going to do that for a count of 4. Breathe in, belly out. And then breathe out for a count of 5. My snapper's not working today. Again, breathe in, belly out. And slowly, slowly exhale. And just go back to a normal breath here. Breathing in, breathing out. So the extended exhale breath is great for lowering blood pressure and for lowering the heart rate. So you kind of use that when you're getting your blood pressure taken. Think about slow inhale through the nose, and then slower exhale through the nose. You'll hear the air going in and out through the nostril tips. From here, we're going to do the second posture. It's called notice pose. Slowly, very slowly, we're going to extend one leg all the way down to the edge of the yoga mat, and you're on the back of the heel as you have your leg go straight, seated on the chair. Then you do the other one. You might notice, ooh, do the hips feel kind of tight here? Do you feel some kind of tight sensations happening? And just kind of make a mental note here. We're going to work on kind of relaxing, releasing that, okay? Squeeze the belly button towards your spine, and then bring one foot back onto the yoga mat, and then the other. So you're at nice little 90-degree knees if you're seated on the chair. Come away from the back of the chair also, please, just a little bit. Don't sink and settle into that corner of the chair. Next is knee to chest posture. Now, if you're seated, grab your yoga strap, your long towel. If you're on your back, you can use your strap too, or not. That's your choice. I'm going to demonstrate it with the strap first. And knee to chest posture is to lubricate the knee joints, the hip joints. I have a little flex of the foot. It's not too dramatic, but it's there to hold the strap. Then we're going to breathe in. The belly expands. And as you exhale, contract that belly button and then push your leg out into the air. Now, you can be on the back of the heel, resting on the floor if you're seated, or a little bit elevated, but you're going to use your strap a little bit to hold that. Now, is this leg more comfortable being more far away, more towards the floor, or is it more comfortable kind of towards the ceiling? Just kind of notice what you notice, which feels okay or challenging in the places in your body. So for me, it's more comfortable being away. With the next inhalation breath, let's breathe in, belly big, invite the knee into the chest. So what you're going to try to notice here is how much of that hip crease, how much of the leg is into the hip crease, into the side torso, into the low ribs. So noticing your range of motion here, plus lubricating the hip and the knee joint. So let's get it moving. Inhale, extend that leg out. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Knee towards the chest. Inhale, leg out. So you may notice some snap, crackle, pops happening in the hip, in the knees. Hopefully it's not painful. It's just, you're noticing that noisy body that we have. And it may start to be a little bit less as we progress in extending the leg out and then knee into chest. If you get mixed up on the breath, guess what? Just keep breathing. That works. Woo! So we have 3 people in the room from Texas today. So I think we've got #1 spot today, Texas. Although if we had another person in Kansas, they'd probably beat us out or tie us. Yeah? Because we've got a lot of +1s in the room today. +1s meaning, the original person signed in and you got someone else in the room taking the class. That's not an animal. Let's do one more. Beautiful. And then we're going to switch sides. So again, you can use the strap along the bottom of the foot or not. If you're not using the strap, invite the knee into the chest. And again, you're going to notice the second side, the other side, how much of this leg in towards the chest compared to the first side. So this one's a little bit more into my side torso compared to the hip crease. And those are things that I notice on my body because I have back challenges. All right, so from here, we're going to do the same thing. First, we're going to breathe in, extend that leg out, and just kind of notice, okay, where does it feel more comfortable here on this side? So for me, it's more towards me than away. And just notice what you notice or don't notice, okay? All right, so from here, inhale, knee into chest. Again, use the strap if you're seated in the chair doing this, and then extend that leg out. Ooh, that's kind of spicy today. And again, inhale, knee into chest. Belly gets big when you breathe in. Exhale. Or belly soft. If you can't really extend that belly, just make it be soft as opposed to contracted when you're exhaling. That's another difference that we can do with that breath. Again, inhale, knee into chest. So my knee is talking today. It's doing a lot of noisy stuff today on the side. So that's one thing I am noticing. I've had a request to do a fall prevention yoga, and so I'm gonna, see what y'all think about doing that one day in lieu of back yoga. You'll still get lots of back yoga elements in the class though. And then let's do a couple more. Again, remember, take breaks when you want to, need to. Keep it between the easy and the ouch. Stay away from ouch. Number one recommendation. And then one more, and hug it in towards your chest. And I already noticed that this one's more into my sideways, almost to my ribs, just with that little bit of movement. And then release the foot onto the floor. You know what? Let's just kind of stomp those feet and shake the legs. That helps you to lessen leg cramps, a little stomping and shaking. Also great for lymphatic drainage. Grab your yoga strap. We're going to do big toe hold. Yay! We're going to do a little bone building. Yes. So take that strap along the bottom of one of your feet and then extend the leg up into the air. Now, if you're seated on the chair, have a nice, super straight leg and rest the back of the heel on the floor. That is yours. And you're inviting the toes towards your nose. You've got a nice little flex of the foot if you're doing this seated on a chair. You may notice this one in the belly of your hamstring. There may be some strong sensation going on here. We're going to make this one more. We got to get some good muscular contraction. So I've got my yoga strap. And again, you can do this without the gear, but this one is really beneficial with the gear. You're going to pull on that strap. And then what I like to do, this is just me, I bend my knee and then push the foot away. So I'm encouraging dynamic contraction. That low back is pressed firmly into the yoga mat. When you're seated doing this, your arms may actually be more close to your body. You're going to notice some back activation when you're seated. Lots of forearm business, maybe some bicep and tricep business. Now, for some folks, the hands are very challenged in this grip. So you can either get a stretch out strap, which has loops, or travel your hands up the strap and wrap the strap around your wrist to have a different type of grip position. But you're still pulling and pushing, encouraging that dynamic contraction. We got to stay in the pose 30 seconds to 112 seconds to get that bone building benefit, BBB. Now, if this is spicy for the back of the knee, bend that knee just a skosh, just a bit, but you're still nicely flexing the heel, toes towards you. Y'all feel that in the behind? I'm going to assume that you do because I do. We're going to do a half of a windshield wiper with the other foot, but first we're going to tap, tap, tap the other foot. Tap, tap, tap. And then if you're seated on the chair, maybe your foot's on the ball of the foot is on the floor or foot on the yoga block, you're going to drop the knee out to the side. That's your counterweight, counterbalance. With the leg that's in the air, let's drop it out to the side. Now, we keep both back sides of the buns on the floor. That's why we drop the leg out. You're still pulling and pushing into, that yoga strap. Hello, leg. So again, stimulating those ankle joints, the knee joints, the hip joints, going at an angle here, kind of getting into the nooks and crannies here. But again, we got to stay here about 30 seconds. So that means you get to hear me talk. Or not. I guess y'all all have observed that I don't like silence, so I'm just going to be talking at you. Yeah, okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Sometimes when you do that deep breath when you're in yoga postures, it makes the yoga postures feel a little bit more. That's sometimes okay, sometimes it's not. Again, just kind of make it fit what's going on with you today. Woo! All right, I think that's 30 seconds. Yes. Bring that leg that's out to the side back to the center and the other leg back to the center. Let's just be a little fancy. Bring the other foot next to the foot that's in the strap and switch it out. That's my definition of fancy. How about that? All right, so I'm going to bend my knee, push my foot away, pull that strap, trying to get that dynamic contraction. Similar feeling. I'm lining up my foot with my shin, my knee, my ankle, so I'm not like turning the foot out to the side. It gets a little spicy when you do that. I'm going to bring my hands down the strap and wrap my wrist because I can pull a little extra there to get that nice contraction. in that calf, in that hamstring, in the quadricep. Oh my gosh. And the behind a little bit too. And definitely feeling this in the forearms. If I were seated, I'd be feeling it in my back because I'd be bringing that inside of my arms as close to my ribs as I could. Sometimes the straps, though, we don't have any, power over how long those straps or those long towels are. So if you have a short strap, you may be constrained by that. So mine's about a 6 to 7 foot strap. So it kind of works with my long body pretty good. Okay, so what we're going to do is tap, tap, tap the other foot. And let's drop that knee out to the side. And then with this leg that's in the sky, drop it out to the side. Now again, keep both sides back of the buns on the yoga mat. We're not wanting that opposite bun to roll off or roll up. I've got the wall here, but I've stopped right before the wall because that's like, woo, that's all I can do. Pull, push. Again, inviting building of the bones when you activate, contract those big muscle groups and hold the position for about 30 seconds. That encourages bone growth because bone is a living thing. These are also postures that we use for easing back pain, is the ones that I select here in the class. It's from that special training I took, Gentle Yoga for Back Care, here a couple of years ago when I was just having so much spicy back pain, had to use a walker. I was in so much pain, kind of crippled forward. I'm thinking, gosh, I'm a yoga teacher. What is going on? Well, my scoliosis, the disc degeneration, the spondylolisthesis, all sorts of back things, was some of the yoga postures just making it more spicy. So I had to learn, okay, let's make this a little bit safer. Woo! Couple more seconds. Just a couple more. Just a couple more. And release. Bring it back to the center. Release that foot. Release the strap. Let's clap the hands in front of us. Oh my gosh. Bring some feeling back into the hands, okay? Increase circulation, mobility in those palms, in those fingers. It always feels good. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and do the notice posture. So extend one leg, then the other. Kind of wiggle those feet, wiggle those hips, and bring the arms out to the side. Notice if it feels any different. Does it feel more melted into the floor? Is there some easing of the tension that might be held? And so I'm already noticing some good stuff here. Okay, so from here we did knee to chest, we did big toe hold, we did constructive rest pose, we did half of a windshield wiper. I'm looking at my list here. We're going to do piriformis bounce and pigeon, and we're going to do overhead extension. So we're doing a lot for both upper and lower part of the body, because where your pain is not necessarily where the problem is. It may be a referred pain. So take one leg up into the air, shake it like you don't care, and side to side. And then let's take that leg either crossed at the ankle bone or on top of your thigh, whatever you can manage. And then from here, if you're seated on the chair and you've crossed it at the ankle, take that strap underneath your knee pit and you're going to pull the leg towards you and let it drop. You can do this also lying on your back, or you can take your hand and bounce the leg away. Now sometimes you can't quite reach it, so you can use your yoga block to bounce the leg away. So while we're doing this, we've got to wake up that piriformis muscle. That sciatica often goes through either a pelvic notch or along the piriformis muscle or through the piriformis muscle. If things get pinchy, they get nervy, and your sciatica pain could be anywhere, feet, calves, upper leg, low back. It will move, yeah? Maybe numbing, it may be tingling, it may be stabbing. So we're kind of working that area to make that less happening, okay? So we bounced it. All right, very good. And again, make everything still. Again, bottom foot, let's tap, tap, tap the bottom foot. And then press the bottom foot firmly into the floor so you feel this traction feeling from that side of the lower back and the foot. And then take that top leg, let's point the toes towards the knee, whether it's crossed at the ankle or on top of the thigh, and then squeeze both buns. Now, if you're seated, sit up tall and hinge forward, grab your leg and your foot, and hinge forward. If you're lying on your back, you can take your hand and push that top leg away or use your yoga block a little bit. So again, pushing firmly into the bottom foot, dynamic contraction going on there, top toes pointed towards your knee, squeeze buns. Woo! Stay here a little bit, and relax, release. Bounce the leg again. It should feel a little loosey-goosey. And then let's bring the leg up into the air, shake that leg, wiggle that leg, and release. Okay, let's do the other side. Again, you can cross at the ankle bone or on top of the thigh, and let's start the bounce. Ooh, this one feels a little tight today. I can use the fingers on this side. Again, we're not like vigorously bouncing. It's a soft little bounce, okay? I'm going to use the block. So warm it up first before we go into the reclined pigeon. So pigeon, where your hips are on the floor and your torso is facing the floor, is an asymmetrical posture which can increase back pain. But done here reclined or seated in the chair, there's a lot more control you have. There's a lot of competition going on in pigeon pose. So your body sometimes will not cooperate and you'll cause yourself more grief than what is necessary. All right, make everything nice and still. We're going to take that bottom foot, tap, tap, tap into the bottom foot. So that's for body awareness, okay? And then press that bottom foot firmly into the floor. You should feel tightening of that quadricep and the little traction feeling. Now, top foot, point the toe towards the knee and then squeeze both buns, or top bun if you can isolate. I can't, so. And then push the top leg away. If you're seated, tall posture, hinge forward like we do in cat-cow. I'm going to use the block today. Again, don't lose the bottom foot. I always lose the bottom foot. Press firmly into that bottom leg. Woo! If you want to woo, you can woo. Woo! And why do I have my hand in the air? Who knows? I'm just doing that. Okay. And you should be feeling some contraction, some strong sensation in our pigeon. You're going to feel it more if you're seated in the chair. I encourage you, those of you that are doing this on your back, do that in the chair sometime and see how much spice gets added. Woo! When you do the seated pigeon in the chair. It's quite interesting. Interesting meaning, woo, it's a little bit more. Okay, you still pushing into the floor? I hope so. Toes towards your knee, everything contracted, everything pushed away, and release. Yay, my favorite part of that pose. All right, shake that leg. Oh, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it. Okay, and then take that leg up in the air, shake it, wiggle it. Oh, yeah. And release. Let's do notice pose. Why not? Extend the leg. Oh, my goodness. And then the other, you should feel a little bit more melted into the floor. That's my hope. Hopefully it's not worse, okay? It might be on some folks. Who knows? And then bring the feet back to where they were, back into constructive rest pose. And, of course, my yoga mat is all over the place. But, you know, there you go. We're going to do letter T, arms, overhead extension. But first I'm going to come up for you people that are new to the class. You're not going to know what the heck is going on. So we're going to take our hands. We got the hands, fingers pointed towards the sky. We're going to fold the fingers into the pads of the hands. And then we have the arm be not cocked, but the top of the hand aligned with the forearm. This is called golfer's grip. I can't get some of my fingers down, so I go to the mid part of the palm instead. And eventually I'm able to bring some of them to that top part of the palm. So we're going to use this in a posture. If you're seated in the chair, we'll be engaging in golfer's grip, hands in front of us. We're going to bend the elbows and have parallel arms to the floor. That's how it is if you're seated. Now, those of us here on the yoga mat, let's get on the yoga mat. And we're going to take that block first, though. Bring it in between the knees, and we're going to walk those feet in towards one another. So this is for both upper and lower back strength building, okay? Range of motion in the shoulders, too. So we're going to clap the hands in front of our chest and rub into those fingers. This will be your favorite part of the pose. Maybe. And you're having like a 50% squeeze of the block. It's not like hardcore, but you definitely notice, you know, contraction of the inner thighs. And then from here, we're going to put those hands into golfer position, golfer's grip. Fold the fingers into the pad of the palm, and then turn your thumbs towards the center of your body. Bend your elbows, back of the arms. If you're on the yoga mat or on the floor, you look like a half of a letter T. Now walk those feet in a little bit to get a little extra squeeze. From here, we're going to squeeze the shoulders towards one another or push the shoulders into the floor and release. 4 more. Squeeze and release. 3 more. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. Squeeze that block. 1 more. Squeeze block. Squeeze the shoulders. Here we go. Here we go. Right there. Right there. And release. Hands in front of your chest. Clap. Rub those hands. Very good. And then what we're going to do here is interlace the fingers, squeeze the palms. Now, if you're lying on your back, you need to drop your shoulders to the floor and then super squeeze. Make sure the elbows look the same. My right elbow likes to turn out, so I just make it the same as my left one. Super straight arms, whether you're seated, whether you're on your back, you should notice your core being engaged. Now, this one's tougher to do seated. So, be mindful. We're going to bring those arms up and overhead. Now, we're not going fast. We're going slow. So you're kind of noticing, ooh, my abdominals need to be contracted. Yes, they do. And eventually, some people like to bend their elbows, but don't bend your elbows. Just notice where you're going here. Now, mine are on either side of my front of my glasses. So that's where I'm kind of noting my range of motion at the moment. That left shoulder kind of keeps my right shoulder from doing stuff. Woo! Tight abdominals. Bring it back to the center. Squeeze that block when you do that. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Yay. Unlace the fingers. Clap the hands. Rub those hands. Oh my gosh, get some circulation going on here. Yes, we do similar poses every time we do this class, but I kind of mix it up. Try to at least. Let's fold the fingers into the pads of the hands, turn the thumbs towards the center, and then bend the back of the elbows. Back of the elbows? That didn't make sense. Bend at the elbows and bring your back of the arms onto the yoga mat. Here we go. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. 3 more. Squeeze. Squeeze the block 2 and release. 2 more. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze and release. 1 more. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Yay! Hands in front of your chest. Clap the hands. All right. Rub those hands. Bring some circulation back on. Yes. Yes, indeed. Interlace the fingers. Drop the shoulders. Squeezy palms. Elbows look the same. Check, check, check. Okay. Here we go. Up and overhead. Belly button tight, low abdominals tight, most definitely. And just breathe. You may increase your range of motion. Oh, I just did. I'm on the side of my glasses now. I'm not going to wiggle my thumbs. I'm pretty far away from the floor, I think. Well, I can't see, so, I'm just using my thumbs to kind of note that. Hanging out in the pose a little bit. If it's too much, just know you can always come out of a posture. You don't have to stay there. Here we go. Squeeze the lower body. Squeeze the block. Bring the hands slowly. My voice cracks here. Bring it back in front of your chest. Keep the squeeze consistent on that block, by the way. Let's clap the hands. Rub those hands. Oh, yeah. Get that feeling going on. Woo. And then from here, let's golfer's grip, turn the thumbs to the center, bend at the elbows, and then press that shoulders into the floor. Squeeze the shoulders towards one another. Here we go. Squeeze and release. Last set, by the way. Squeeze and release. 3 more, 3 more. Make them count. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. Last one. Squeeze and release. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Clap the hands. All right. Rub the hands. Okay, interlace those fingers, squeezy palms, shoulders down, elbows look the same. Slowly, with a squeezy block, bring the arms back overhead. Don't forget to breathe. I'm going to wiggle my thumbs. Whoa, okay, they're touching the floor. I can't believe it. So you can kind of note range of motion, right, when we're doing this. But we're also strengthening the upper back, lower back when we're doing this. Very slowly, squeeze the belly button towards your spine. Squeeze the block. Bring the hands back in front of your chest. Go slow. Go slow. Release the hands. Clap the hands. Get some circulation going back on. Oh, you know what? Release that block. Yay. favorite part. Let's do notice pose. Extend one leg, kind of shake it out a little bit. Then the other. Move those shoulders, move those hips, move those feet. Woo! I think it's almost nap time. I mean, I'm feeling like really kind of soft into the floor. But, you know, we got a lot more stuff to do. Yeah, we do. I'm going to squeeze the belly button towards the spine, bring a leg back onto the yoga mat, then the other. And then for me, because I've got that SI joint dysfunction, I lift up first, then I turn. Otherwise, it's like pain-ola. And I roll over onto my side. I'm going to keep that block close by. You might need it. The hand that's in front of you, you can press into the floor and extend that top leg to come up. Now, sometimes we can be dizzy when we go from horizontal to the vertical. So maybe you want to pause here just for a second. Or maybe I want to pause here. And then come back all the way up. You can do this seated on the chair, at the edge of the chair or the couch, or seated on the floor. So seated on the floor is very uncomfortable in my body. So that's where I like to use a big towel or a yoga blanket. And, you know, I kind of take the long rectangular part of the blanket. It's not going to show up on the camera, is it? No. And then I'm going to fold it into thirds. And then I take the thickest edge here, and I just, you know, stick it back behind me. I'm going to sit like the edge of my behind on the blanket. Now, why do I do that? Because it allows my pelvis to tilt forward. And for me, that makes me feel like if I'm tilted more toward the back of the room, I feel like my breathing is cramped. I can't fully breathe down deep into my lungs. But if I tilt that pelvis forward, I feel a little bit more open here. Now, I've got a spicy knee. I think I told you that before. Sometimes I take the yoga block. This is where 2 yoga blocks would be great. You can have one for each knee. Gentlemen typically have more tight hips because of their structure. So, you know, their knees may be way up here, but it feels uncomfortable to be like this, like unsupported. Put the block there or roll up another blanket to make it more comfortable. I'm going to switch which leg is in the front. Sometimes that makes it feel, oh, that's more comfortable. That's more comfortable. Okay. And again, I'm kind of scooching my booty to the edge of that. So again, it just kind of tilts a little bit more forward. We're going to do 2 cat-cows. We're going to do flowy cat-cow later, but we're going to do seated cat-cow first in this sequence. Also, side lateral movement and unsupported twists. So these are very important for back care. And it's a different type of twist than a normal yoga class. So just kind of think about that. If you take anybody else's classes and you have back challenges, do the unsupported one. Have that be better for your body. And then we'll describe why in just a moment. First, let's do side lateral flexion. I'm going to move the block over because I don't need that right now. Yeah, I'm just kind of like going, oh, left side. It feels pretty tight, but that's not affecting the leg yet. Let's inhale, circle sweep arms up. And then I'm going to sneak a hand down here on the yoga mat or on the chair or back behind me. So if I do the back behind me, I can squeeze, get a little upper back work going on. So you can be on a fist or wrist or fingertips. I'm going to do the wrist. And I'm going to push into the floor and then really reach up. Now, as I exhale, contract that belly button towards the spine. I'm going to reach up and over. Woo! So I feel some spice going on in this top side, in that upper back muscle. It's not bad, but sometimes you can breathe, like listen to the breath going in through the nose and out through the nose to redirect your strong sensations to something else. Sometimes it didn't work at all, okay? We're going to bring it back on up and down. Now I'm going to show you a different variation if you're seated on the floor. So I had the arm back behind me that time. This one will take me deeper into the posture. Is that a good thing? I don't know yet. Depends what day it is. So let's breathe in, circle sweep arms up. Same arm is going up, and I have my hand out to the side. This is not the same if you're doing this on the chair, okay? And I'm going to inchworm the arm out, and then I'm going to reach up, belly button tight, and then lean the side body over. So I get a little bit more into that quadris lumboris and the latissimus dorsi, into the armpit. Then I got to inchworm myself back on up and then release. Very good. Let's do the other side. We'll go to the original thing that we did. So inhale, circle sweep arms up, and then Hand's going to go back behind me this time. This is the chair version also. So reach up, 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 up. Belly button tight. Exhale, lean that side body over. So this feels nice, but it doesn't feel as supported for me than the second version. So that's why I like to show both, okay? Inhale back on up. Exhale, float it down. So that's side lateral flexion. That's like grabbing the can on the top shelf. We don't do this movement very often, but we do it. So let's do it again. Here we go. Breathe in, up, up, up. Hand comes down, out to the side this time. And again, I'm going to inhale, reach up, inchworm out, exhale, lean the side body over. Woo! And again, sometimes a deep breath in this position feels like, ooh, why did I do that? Just breathe however you need to, okay? Now I'm going to look at my hand, inchworm it back, have a little support there, and then float it down. Let's do some shoulder shrugs up and shoulder shrugs down. Let's do something for the kyphosis lordosis, that little dowager's hump. We're going to raise it up and then turn halfway to the side. It's going to feel lots of tension building up here, and release. Whew. Bring it back to the center. Let's do the other side. So shrug it up, and we're going to turn halfway over to the other side. I'm kind of holding my breath here too. And then release it down. Oh, that feels good. And release. All right. So it might be time to switch legs. I'm staying here because I know this fits my stuff. We're going to do unsupported twists. So in a regular yoga class, they may tell you, oh, let's take a hand to an opposite leg and then push into that for your twist. Don't do that if you have back challenges, because you may be twisting more than you need to. So we do unsupported twists. So they're kind of cool. So we do letter W. Kind of looks like a W. Letter W arms. So I'm squeezing my shoulders towards my spine. So there you go. I'm engaged. And I keep my chin aligned with my chest, okay? I'm going to pick the side that's closest to this light over here on the side of the room. So I'm going to breathe in, belly big, shoulders contracted. Exhale, belly button towards my spine, and turn with my own thoracic strength. Thoracic, sounds like Jurassic, right? Over to the side. Now I kind of lose the outside arm a little bit, so I re-squeeze. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, back to the center. So it's only your thoracic spine that's doing the work. It's not you cranking into the twist. Don't crank, okay? Be cranky, but don't crank. All right. I laugh at my own jokes. Y'all don't have to, but I just do. Squeeze the shoulders. Y'all probably going, yeah, that's Gail. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, turn over to the other side. Woo! Did you twist more? Maybe. Again, chin aligned with your chest as best you can. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, release. Yay. Woo! All right, let's do seated cat-cow. And then we're going to morph into flowy cat-cow, but chair people, you're still going to do seated cat-cow. So hands on your knees, your shins, whatever you can grab here. And we're in tall mountain posture to begin with. So we're going to breathe in, belly big. Now we're going to exhale, belly button tight, elbows out to the side, hinge forward. Now we try to keep the head aligned with the spine, which means we don't take the chin towards the sky. We don't take the chin towards our chest. That's too much for the neck. That's too much for back issues. Now, I've been talking here. You've been breathing. We're going to go back into mountain pose. But first, breathe in, belly big. Contract that belly button. Come up to tall, seated mountain. Very good. Now, you may notice the pelvic tilt when we do the next one, the cat portion of the pose. Once again, breathe in, belly big. Ooh, excuse me. Sometimes when you do twists and stuff, air happens, and I just had a little burp there. Curve your spine to the back of the room. Hang on. Ooh, kind of feel the muscles just kind of peeling away from the spine. I love it. I love it. Extension and flexion of the spine. Inhale, belly big right here. Exhale, sit up nice and tall. So you may have noticed that pelvic tilt. Let's do it again. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, hinge forward for the cow portion. I'm looking at y'all, folks. Okay, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, contract that belly button, come back to tall, seated mountain. Beautiful. Stay here, belly soft. Breathe in. Exhale, curve to the back of the room. Ooh, it feels nice for the back. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, come back to tall, seated mountain. All right, we're going to do cat-cow again, seated on the chair, or you may do twists. But those of us here on the yoga mat, let's do flowy cat-cow. So you kind of need to know this Again, if you have back challenges and you're taking some other classes, this is going to be a safer version for you. You're still getting extension and flexion of the spine. Now, I moved my yoga blanket, my towel, because again, I have a spicy knee. I need a little extra cushion, but you can fold up your yoga mat upon itself for a little extra cushion if that's your challenge. So, yes, knees on the blanket. Move that block out of the way. I don't know if we're going to come up to standing today. We may not. You can be on tops of the toes or curly toes. I do curly toes because it feels weird to the tops of my feet. Traditional cat-cows, hands underneath the shoulders. But for flowy cat-cow, it's part of yin yoga. You shift your hands forward, and then you bring your behind onto your heels. Well, I can't do that. So I got to bring my forearms onto the yoga mat, and then I walk my elbows a little bit towards my knees, and then shift my behind towards my heels. They never really get there. And I'm going to spread my arms a little bit more apart, because what we're going to do, little bicep tricep action here. We're going to inhale, drag our nose up in between the hands. Once our nose reaches about wrist level, we contract the belly button nice and tight, and then peel the forearms off the yoga mat. Shift a little bit more forward, still contracted with the belly, and curve the spine to the top of the room for cat. Exhale, lower for cow, belly soft. Let's do that again. Inhale, drag it forward. Belly is soft. Contract that belly button, come up onto those palms. Exhale, curve the spine to the back of the room. Woo! Let's do that again. Inhale, drag it forward. Nose aligned with the wrist. Peel the forearm off. Keep those arms aligned. Don't bring them out to the side. Aligned with your yoga mat. Exhale, curve the spine. We'll do one more, shall we? We shall. Here we go. Inhale, drag it forward. Exhale, curve that spine to the top of the room. Beautiful. Stay here. Guess what? Bring the hands underneath. Let's just do a little spinal balance so we activate that multifidi muscle. If you're seated, bring an arm up towards your ear. If you're on the floor, arm extended. Opposite foot goes out to the edge or past your yoga mat. If you're seated, you're going to take the opposite knee, bend the knee up towards the sky. We're going to lift the leg up towards the sky for oppositional reach or spinal balance. And release. Now I'm close to something there. I'm going to move up on my yoga mat a little bit. So I got to shift my blanket. Very good. Okay. Let's do the other side. So other arm towards your ear or bent elbow. And then take that opposite foot. I'll kind of push my calf to the back of the room. I'll push my toes to the back of the room. Lift the heel, lift the arm. Woo! Belly button tight. And release. Let's do that with the breath. Let's inhale. Bring an arm up into the air, opposite foot out. Exhale, contract that belly button. Lift the leg, lift the arm. Inhale, bring the arm and leg back down. Exhale, everything back to the center. Let's do the other side. Inhale, drag an opposite arm outward. Exhale, lift the arm and leg up. Inhale, arm and leg down. Exhale, back to the center. Okay, I'm looking at our time. We're going to do block bridge and then do our guided rest and relaxation. So let's transition back to seated on the chair or lying on our back in constructive rest posture. Grab your yoga block. Now, if your chair has no back, this isn't going to work for you seated in the chair. Maybe you go on the couch and you're going to press your low back up against that block. Those of us on the floor, come on down to constructive rest pose. And then we're going to walk our feet towards our behind. And you either use your own hand or your own muscular strength. Lift your behind up, sneak the block underneath. And then I kind of, position it a little bit more here on the high behind. Now it feels kind of crunchy for my upper back, so I kind of walk those shoulders away a little bit. From here, and you can also bring the leg off a little bit while you do this next pose seated on the chair. We're going to bring a leg up into the air and shake the leg. So we're doing a little lymphatic drainage here. And then shake it side to side. This is also helpful if you have pelvic prolapse. Let's see, the bladder, the rectum, the male, the female parts. You're kind of working gravity a different way, so that's letting everything kind of relax here as opposed to having to hold everything in, right? Very good. And bring that leg down. Let's do the other one. You may feel some sensation going on in that leg. Let's shake it. And wiggle it side to side. So some of the other postures we do in class is warrior 2, tree posture, 8 movement meditation. Shake, shake, shake. You know, bring the other leg up in the air. Let's do them both, okay? Sometimes we do standing oppositional reach. We'll also sometimes do warrior 1, but warrior 1 is one of those contraindicated postures that you need to do that one with lots of guidance for those of us with back challenges, okay? Shake, 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 wiggle, wiggle. Bring one leg down. Notice the sensation. Then the other. Very good. Now we're going to press into the floor, press into the shoulders, lift up, bring that block out, roll your spine down. You should feel the goodness going on right there in that version of our what's going on with our back. You may want to, again, peel the shoulders off the yoga mat. Let's do the notice pose so we can do that snapshot at the end, near the end of class, compared to what was going on at the beginning. And again, shake those feet, move those hips, move those shoulders. Hopefully this is a little bit better for you. You can stay here for the guided rest and relaxation, but again, those of us with spicy back pain, this may not be the best. Maybe instead, you can bring the feet onto the yoga mat and have the feet wide and drop the knees in. That's often like very lovely for the back. I know a lot of us, we like these lightweight chairs, or we scoot your booties over to the couch and we'll take the legs on the side of the chair. Sometimes, you know, you can't get it through the back, depending what's going on with the chair, so I do the side. And then what's nice about this one is I can like scoot my behind away a little bit and have this kind of traction pulling sensation. And I'll often cross the outside foot on top of the foot that's closest to the back of the chair. So I know that my leg's not going to plop down to the ground because I get super relaxed when I do legs on the chair or legs on the wall. Okay, so you get to a place that's comfortable for you. I'm going to come up. And again, I got to use the chair sometimes to come up off the ground. Just makes it, I can come up off the floor, but, you know, using the chair makes it a lot easier for my pain levels. Part 2 for reducing pain in the back when, you know, you got spice going on is also to do a yoga nidra practice. So that often will help people release chronic daily pain, helps them sleep better at night. So those are things to also investigate in addition to, you know, doing a yoga class, doing a specific yoga class. So from here, just notice what you notice. So did it feel different from compared to the beginning of the class? Or did you even notice that? Yeah, that could be a thing too. And then from here, I invite you to close the eyes or gaze softly, whatever's okay for you today. And just notice your breath. Just notice that you're breathing. Don't change it in any way. Just notice, what does it feel like here to breathe in and to breathe out? Notice the air going through the nostril tips down the back of the throat and then reversing direction. Very good. From here, I invite you to, what I do is I say a place in your body and you repeat that place in your brain and then you imagine it, okay? This helps us to reduce the repetitive thoughts, the monkey mind, that earworm, if you got that song repeating in your head. So this helps you to concentrate and release all of that, even just for a moment, yeah? So from here, I want you to notice the top of your head. Again, you're going to think top of my head. You're going to imagine top of the head. Okay. And then from here, let's go down the back side of the body. Let's go to the left shoulder blade. Right shoulder blade. Top of the upper back. Mid back. Low back. Notice that right hip, left hip, the back side of the right leg, the back side of the left leg, right ankle, left ankle, the back side of the right arm, the back side of the left arm. Notice all those places that are touching a surface that's supporting you. The back of the head, the shoulders, the low back, the back of the leg, the calf, the ankle, the bottom of the feet. Notice that sensation of support. Maybe you feel heavy into the surface that's supporting you. Good. Now let's flip that to the front places of the body. Again, starting with the top of the head, right ear, left ear, right cheekbone, left cheekbone, upper lip, lower lip, chin, jawline, right collarbone, left collarbone, the throat, right side chest, left side chest, upper abdominals, the navel center, lower abdominals, right hip, left hip, the top side of the right leg, the top side of the left leg, top side of the right arm, the top side of the left arm. So notice the air coming across the skin in the front places of the body. Notice that sensation of feeling lighter in the body compared to the places in the back side of the body. So it's light versus feeling heavy in the body. Just compare and contrast. Notice what you notice or don't notice. Good. And then from here, whether you're seated on the chair, whether you're lying on your back, let's come back into the now, back into the present moment. So I invite you to kind of wiggle those fingers, move those toes. If you're laying on your back, let's bring knees into the chest. If you're here seated on the chair, bring the feet a little wide. And as the knees are into the chest, kind of roll side to side. If you're seated on the chair, let's do some wide upper body circles, just to kind of give our back a little TLC, a little tender, loving care here. Now my chair squeaks. And let's go the other direction. Make the circle go the other way. It might feel a little different going the other direction, by the way. All right, if you're lying on your back, go ahead and roll over onto your side. Slowly, slowly from that horizontal position, come up to an upright place. Those of us here seated in the chair, just come up towards kind of the edge of the chair. Have a little nice tall posture. If you need to be on a yoga blanket, seated on the floor, grab that yoga blanket, get positioned there. We're going to do the hand tapping sequence since we have a little bit of time here. From here, we're going to tap the sides of the hands. This is for lessening headaches and vertigo. Breathing in, breathing out. Very good. And then we're going to do the interwebs of the thumb. So this is to aid digestive disorders, nausea. So you tap into that little arc of the hand. My bracelets are making noise. And then flip it. That feels weird because it's not the normal direction. Yeah. Again, for digestive disorders, for nausea. All right, so we're going to do the interwebs of the fingers. So if you got rings, be mindful. So this is we're lessening pain or numbness in the limbs. So I'm going to be making a little bit of noise here. And notice which finger is on the top. That's your normal finger that's on the top. And you'll see why I say that in just a moment. Again, we're tapping into the valleys in between those fingers for pain or numbness in the limbs. And notice which finger's on top and switch the other finger on top. My brain always kind of goes, what? When I do that, when I switch it. Very good. Next, we're going to get the pulse points at the wrist. That's for heart cardiovascular issues. Now you can go like this, but I've got that pacemaker there, so I'm going to do up and down instead. Plus you get double time here. Now we're not whapping, we're tapping. Right there at the pulse point, the heart meridian. Okay, flip it. Go the other hand on top. Very good. I think my next two are my favorite. So we cup the hand. Now since I've got this big ring here, I kind of cup the hand to where it's not going to hit the top of the hand. So we tap the top of the hand. Back of the hand is for osteoarthritis, back pain. So these are all acupressure places, okay? I'm going to switch sides. Here we go. Cup. Also helps your veins kind of pop out. That's good if you have to have a blood draw or you have to have an IV. Yeah. I know, I say the strangest things, don't I? Okay. Back of the wrist is for neck and shoulder pain. So let me move my bracelets. Make a nice little sound there. I'm going to do the other side, but I got my watch here, so I'm a little bit more on the back of the hand instead. But back of the wrist, neck and shoulder pain. You might combine this with yoga nidra. Maybe you need to go into the inside of the elbows, the elbow pits, for lessening, for easing into sleep, lessening insomnia. We've added one to the menu, Mr. Joseph. That's this one right here. Not too hard, okay? And then we'll do one of my favorites. We'll make a fist, punch into your palm. That's for stress, anxiety, improves clarity, consciousness. Plus you notice that noise that you make, yeah? Do the other one. Does it sound different? Mine does. I have to make this feel more comfortable there. Very good. From here, go back to either palms up, resting on your lap, hands low on the belly. We're going to breathe in, belly big. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Relax those shoulders down. Again, inhaling, belly big. Maybe shift it to your heart center. Exhale. One more time. Here we go. Inhale, belly big, chest big. And exhale. Now while we're here, let's think about one thing that we're grateful for, or at least an idea of gratitude. And whatever that is, your gratefulness, your thankfulness, let's kind of envelop it and place it into that heart space. And let's just drop our chin towards our chest, just in gratitude of showing up today. And then I'll say the ending things of our class. I'll stop the recording, and I invite any questions that you might have. So if you want, you can bring your eyes to gaze forward, open or close, your choice. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the peace, the strength, the understanding, and a little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors and respects the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of gentle yoga for back care. I will now stop the recording.